Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to make a Gutenberg plugin. So it will be like this, a dynamic timestamp plugin. So when you import the plugin, it will say the timestamp preview current year, and you can select the option from this timestamp settings. So you can choose current year or last updated. Last updated means that when the post got updated by the author last time. So if you say the current date and just save and go to the preview, it will show you the current year. And if you choose the other option, which is last updated, and save it, refresh it as well, and you can see this the post was last updated 5:46 a.m. So we are going to make this, and we are going to learn that how to write the plugin with this React and PHP. So now let's start. So first of all, to we have to open the VS Code, and we need to open the terminal. So when you open that terminal, we have to write some comments here, and in order to import the dynamic template for this Gutenberg block, so we have to write npx WordPress and create block, the name your plugin. So our plugin's name is dynamic timestamp. Then we have to write to flag, then say variant and dynamic. It is very important to write this dynamic. So if you don't write the dynamic, then our client page will give you the static block template, and it is something that you don't want. So you have to write the dynamic. So we will have the render.php file, so that we can view this in front in the dynamic content. So we have to like the enter. It will take some time to get all the files. So you have to wait for some minutes. It could take 1 minute or 2. As you can see, it is installing our npm dependency. So it will install all the node modules files and all other important files to make our block. So it will take some time. So we have to just wait for that, and maybe give it like 2 minutes to complete. So once it complete, we will come back. So as you can see, the import has been completed, and we have the dynamic timestamp plugin. Oh, sorry, we have the dynamic timestamp folder, and I can see the node modules, which is very important. We all have the dependencies here. Then there is a build folder. Actually, WordPress reads this folder actually to run the code. Then we have the source folder, and we'll be working from this source folder. We have the main PHP file where you can see that we have the plugin name, description, versions, everything, and that's how we are going to register the block. And the thing that if you run the npx command in the files, it is already been registered from this wp register block types or metadata collection, and you can see it is referring to the blocks manifest PHP. So the reason we are going to do the registration like that because if a plugin has more than one block, then it is going to be very handy, because that's why all blocks can be registered at the same time, causing memories to work better. So if you go to the block manifest.php file, which is in the build file, then you can see our plugin, which is in array. But if we had more than one block, then we'd be have another array element here with that plugin's information. So whatever. So we'll be going to work in this source file. So first of all, let's see the all files, block.json file. So this file is very important for us because if you need to do anything, we have to go to this file and declare it first, like especially for the settings options. We have the read.js file, and this file is responsible for the backend edit section for the Gutenberg. So we'll be working with this file a lot. Then we have the index.js file, and let's start it. And it is very important file, and it is the main file for all of file. But we don't need to work with this file. It is automatically linked to another files. So render.php file, we will be working with this file a lot. So let's start. So if you see that the plugin we want to build, if you see that in the timestamp preview, there is the option, and there you can see the current year and last updated. Also, it gets changed when you change the option. So in order to do that, we have to declare this option in our blocks.json file. So where we're going to declare this under the supports. So what we're going to do, we have to assign this attributes value. Then we have to write attributes. Then colon. Another, we have to also now say that what kind of variable is this display mode. So we had a problem, but let's continue. Then we have to declare the type of this display mode. Then it is going to be a string. Then so you saw that current year, because why we need to do that? Because we have this settings here, choose the option. You can see the current year actually is already set there by default. It is the first option, and we are going to make this default because if we don't select any value, then then it would be the default value. So yes, it. So we just declare the attributes. Then in attributes we have to declare another variable, just display mode, another property. Then we have to say what's the type of this variable, which is a string, and we have to then declare the default of value of this display mode. Then we have to go to the render.php part, and this comments can be useful, but we can delete that. And since it is a very important file, then we are going to say not absolute path defined. And so we have this if statement not define absolute path. So and if the absolute path is not defined, then exit, because it is very important that if a hacker wants to just exit this file render.php from the URL, then it is going to exit the hacker. So it is very important to have this for a important file like render.php. Then what we're going to do, then we are going to add a p tag. There we go. Before that, let's int the PHP mode. Then in the p tag under this, we are going to add the PHP mode again. Then we are going to equal get block wrapper attributes. So why you want to have this get block wrapper attributes? Because it's very important to have, because If you do so, it is going to add some page class, a CSS class to this p tag. That those classes going to assign some default CSS values to that p tag. Also, if you want to add some custom CSS to that p tag, we are going to need this get block wrapper attributes, because Gutenberg really are going to target those custom those CSS classes to add our custom CSS. So if you want to do that, so after that we are going to have PHP mode again. Then we have to write the if statement. So like that is set, then attributes. So we are going to see that if this dollar attributes variable is defined. So you may question that why we are going this have this attributes variable. So if you remember that in block.json file we and this attributes property, but when we add this attributes property and when we load the WordPress fully, then WordPress is going to do is going to go to this block.json file. After this reading this dynamic timestamp file, that there is a block to register, and it is going to see this attributes file, and it is going to add a dollar attributes variable in its memory, which is going to represent these attributes actually from block.json file. So we are going to have this, and so we'll be checking before going to output any value that if this attributes file is defined. So basically we're checking this if this attributes is defined, like it has any variable and it like default value also. Then we are going to add this and then there is a logical operator, and then again attributes. We are going to access the display mode variable from that. Then we're going to check that if this attribute is symmetrical equal to current year, because if you remember that it is our also default value, so we're going to check the if this attributes is symmetrical to current year actually. If it's current year, then equal. We're going to give it up to the escape HTML, which is very important because it is going to strip all HTML tags. And it is very good for your site because hacker may add some HTML tag to try to hack your site. So it is good to have this escape HTML. Then we're going to output current year is current year is then dot. Then we are going to add this page function. Then we're going to pass y as a parameter, so it is going to display only the year. So our if this statement is complete, then we're going to test the else. So if you see that current year is our default value and we have like the output for this, but what about if we just select the last updated? So in that case, we have to set a value for that as well. In that case, else if we are going to select the last updated option, we're going to equal escape HTML again, because as I have explained, it's very important to have. Then we're going to output this text. The post was last updated, then get modified right of time. Yeah, the time. So it is a WordPress specific function. We have to add another parenthesis. Let's see what is the error unexpected token. Okay. I think it is going to be here. So what's the problem? I think we have, yeah, we had one more parenthesis. So yeah, so it is the get the modified time. It is a WordPress specific parts function. When you are going to use this sort of post, that is going to get the modified file, modified time, last modified time for that post. So that is our render.php is completed. Then we have to work with this edit.js file. So what this edit.js file do, that if you see, it is your edit backend system, right? So you are going to see that this preview that you are seeing timestamp preview. Then you are seeing the timestamp settings, choose the options. Currently, there is a drop down. You can select the option. Now, if you save and see the preview, then you are going to see that. But it is a front end, and we just work on the render.php file for that. But if you see the backend, we have to create also that. So wizard is going to have a good experience with this Gutenberg block, and we have to make this. So there is a review block, and there will be a timestamp settings where wizard is going to can select drop down whatever option they like. So we have to make this from uh, this edit.js file. So as you can see, we have a lot of options, a lot of imports going on for this file, a lot of comments. Comments are always good, but for now we're going to delete that. And what we're going to do, we're going to import um, React functions from a WordPress React that we are going to need to use them. Do you get that? So first of all, we are going to import the quiz block props and inspector control. Where we're going to import that from, we have a WordPress folder in this not modules, and then block editors. There we go. Then we have to import two more functions for this Gutenberg block, and the two more is panel body. Then there is select control. So where are you going to import that from? We're going to have to import from WordPress components. Okay. So we have four function imported already. Now this one is really important, and we're going to use that. So now what we're going to do, that we're going to export a function default. Then function would be edit. You can name whatever you want, but edit is standard. Okay, standard name. Then we're going to have parenthesis. Let's make it function. So in this edit function, we're going to pass two parameters. Would be that attributes, and another is that attributes. And we're going to use that from this edit function about attributes and set attributes. Then we're going to type the return also. Sorry, not cap, all small letter return. Then parenthesis. Then what we're going to do, that we're going to have this h1 tag. Before we are going to have this h1 tag, it's very important that we wrap all the HTML tag. We're going to do this deep tag. So we're going to need the deep tag, because in this deep tag, let's go to this JavaScript node by using this parenthesis. That is the block props. Then with the parenthesis, so we're going to use this. খালি একটু পরে হ্যাঁ কাজ করতেছি। So we're going to need to use this with block props. So it is function very important, or it is a wrapper that is going to work for us very well, because if you don't use this block props, then the thing that going to happen, that if you click on this block, then you can see there's the WordPress recognize this block, going to show some settings like timestamp setting, just option, and it is very important. But what gonna happen if you don't with this with block props, then these settings won't be displayed, because WordPress don't know that these settings are for these blocks. Do you get it? So it is very important for us to use this function. Actually, in return, this is also going to output some CSS classes to this deep tag. So then h1 timestamp preview. Then hold on, I'm going to go to the JavaScript mode. And even though we are in JavaScript file, but we have to go to this JavaScript mode because we are using this HTML tag. So the attributes dot display mode. So what is going to show this attributes of display modes? So if you can remember, we had this value from attributes and the display mode. So it is actually referring to that attribute of display mode. So whatever this display mode has value in it, it's going to display that as well. So we have this h1. Actually, this h1 is referring to this one. You can see the timestamp. So we just made this. So now, uh, so we're going to make this timestamp settings. Then that choose the option. So let's focus on this timestamp settings. So in order to do that, I can see this timestamp settings in the sidebar, not in this block, because it looks good, looks organized. So in order to move our anything in this sidebar, we have to with the inspector control. Inspector control. So we're going to have some issue, or it must have one parenthesis. So yeah, this inspector control would be under this deep tag. Absolutely, just have covered that. Why it needs to be under the deep tag. So inside this inspector controls. So whatever we are going to assign, that is going to uh in this sidebar. Whatever we're going to write. So now we are going to panel body. In this panel body, we have to write the timestamp settings. So if you write the timestamp settings, then we are going to have what? We are going to have this timestamp settings, this drop downs. So in this drop down, under this drop down, you have to just choose the option and this two option that wizard can choose. So how we're going to have this? We are going to select another select control. So just to revise that, inspector control is something that we imported from block editor, right? Can remember. Also this list block props we also imported from block editor, and then this panel body we are using also we imported from the WordPress component. Now we are going to use the select control, which has been also imported from this components. So it is something very important. Unless you import this from this WordPress block editor and components, you can't use them. So that is very important to be aware. Then we have to assign a label value. Just choose for the wizard, choose the options. And then the options will be equal to, then we have to go to the JavaScript mode. We are in JavaScript mode. Then we have this option, two option. Now we have to pass this as array. So because this is array, we have to declare this array value to start bracket. Then we have to pass this two option as object actually. So two object as an array. So inside this array there are the two objects. And we're going to make this first label, this for past option label current here, that value would be current here. Then this is our first object for the first option. Then we are going to have a comma. Then we are going to pass another object label. Oh, and last updated. Let's make it capital as well. Then we're going to have hello. Value would be last updated as well. So we have this ready. So we're going to return this device block props. Then we're going to have this preview with this tag. So from by using the inspector controls, we're going to put all these settings in the sidebar. Then we're going to panel body for the drop down. Then for select control, we are seeing that choose the options, and we're going to pass these two options as array, but and each of them are object, and mm, then what we're going to do, then options of this variable, we're going to use a on change. You're familiar with this, absolutely. On change, and we're going to go to JavaScript mode. Then we're going to new value. You can name whatever you want, but new value for me it's what's good. Then we're going to parentheses. Then we're going to set attributes. It is a function. Then we're going to add this as a op. So we're going to pass this object, which will go display mode new value. So what just happened? A new value is uncrowned. So let's say new value. So what just happened when a user is going to set a value, current year was last updated. This one change method will grab the user's value, which is from value. So it is going to pass this, and then it is going to pass this to the state attributes. And if you know, we already have the attributes, and so set attribute pointer, edit or manipulate this display value, display mode to the new value. So what we're going to have, we are going to have this attribute display mode updated as well as the wizard select value, because we had this hit attributes, and it is going to pass as a new value for this attributes display mode as well for the PHP. So have already ready, I think. So as the block.json, we have to declare this display mode, then we have to send the type, then we have to give it the current year as a default. Then in render.php file, then we have to get block wrapper attributes to the p tag. Then we have to output this current year is based on the if statement, and else based on the what we just chose. Then so the post was last updated and get the modified time. Then we have the edit.json. We have to import all the function from this WordPress block editor and component. Then we have to declare a function. Then we have to pass to parameter as a destructive operator. Then we have to use the return.